You're the guy people call when they need a helping hand, moving furniture, unloading a truck. But lately, your shoulder's been acting up, and you're the one who's calling for help. And that's the moment you realize you can no longer shoulder the load.
The Joint and Spine Center is Cincinnati's leading destination for orthopedic care with a range of surgical and non-surgical treatments. So when a moment has the power to change the rest of your life, go to the one place with the power to change it for the better, the Christ Hospital Health Network. This changes everything.
The Pound This podcast is brought to you by the Christ Hospital Health Network. This is the Pound This podcast, episode 605, Fitness and Fun, a raw conversation with Natalie and Ashley.
I want to lose weight, but I don't know how to get started.
What should I meal prep every week?
How do I get those sweet booty gains?
Inspiration for your healthy lifestyle. The Pound This podcast with Amanda Valentine.
Thank you so much for listening to the Pound This podcast. This is a threesome in here today.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm okay with that. We're all freaks. We're all
Hey. We're all going to start cycling together now.
Oh, gosh. Blood sisters.
Ew. Take that to the grave.
So I have Ashley and Natalie. What's up, ladies?
Hi.
Hi.
So a little backstory here is that we all work together at radio stations here in Cincinnati. Ashley, you're on the station I used to be on, B105.
That's right. Good
And
country fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You remember that?
I do. I was there when that was invented.
Wow.
And the discussions whether or not I was good country fun or not.
Oh, yeah. You're
that's
pretty
awkward.
hardcore.
I'd say I'm good country fun.
You totally are.
Put on a
No, I
cowboy
do.
hat.
I mean,
I
like,
can
you
see it
totally
now.
are.
Oh yeah. I every cowboy hat I've had I've destroyed because I've been hammered and fell into a lake or something or one or another.
Yeah. I
I've
feel you on that.
I've been to some festivals. Some things have happened.
That's how I ruined all my jewelry. I would wake up with
yeah.
one earring for a decade. I would just buy a pair of earrings for the night. I feel like that's what happened.
Well, Natalie, you're on Q102. Is there? I mean, do you even have anything like good country fun? What's your moniker
Today's
over
top
there?
hits. Cincinnati's
Morning show,
Cincinnati's hit music.
Oh, okay. You're not good Cincinnati fun or anything.
Good, clean Cincinnati fun.
No, it's
I
not
don't
so
know.
clean all the time.
We're Cincinnati's top hits. Cincinnati's hit music.
Gotcha. All right.
Playing the hits.
It probably took you too long to answer that question.
It's all good.
I had to sing the
You
jingle.
didn't pass the test. But what's awesome about is not only did we all used to work together, but we're all like into health and fitness,
Yeah.
which is so interesting.
sure.
Which is what I wanted to talk to you ladies about. But we can talk about, what I'm sure we're going to meander into other fun topics. But I know, especially in COVID, I wanted to talk to you guys about too, how that's affected your routine. Because Ashley, you've been on my podcast before.
Yes, I came in like, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. And then I disappeared, I think.
Yeah, I think you did that twice.
Did I? That sounds right.
But you know what though?
That's what I
Just
do, though.
like
Roller coaster.
learning, yeah, no, but like it took you, it took you time and you learned, and now
Yeah,
it's
that's part of
your
the process. Part of the process. And Natalie, you have an interesting relationship with fitness too, where it feels like you just go so freaking hard.
I do.
Like into hot yoga and stuff like that. Because I know that over the course of our friendship, it's been like you go so hard, and then you're just like, I gotta calm it down. I gotta take a break, and then I'm going back. And
Yeah,
then I'm
that's why
calming down.
COVID has been amazing because a lot of classes aren't as available. So I've had to really change up my routine. I used to only do the same hot yoga and other stuff, the same routine. So I was overworking those same muscles and I was always injured. And COVID has been amazing because I've really switched it up. And now I'm like in the best shape I've ever been in. And I definitely don't weigh the least, but I'm building muscles in other ways and doing a lot of other exercises that I'm freaking loving so much that I'm going to become an instructor.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Good
on
for
the
you,
way.
girl.
So it's been amazing. I've loved COVID exercising.
So I know that you do like fitness videos on the Q102 Facebook page. So it was a lot of that because I know you did that when we were in quarantine and none of the gyms were open.
Well, like it's always been a dream of mine since I was a little kid to be a fitness instructor, for real. And I've always taken classes like with old ladies since I was a kid and just loved exercising, was an athlete and stuff. Then during COVID, literally our boss made me start those videos. And then they just took off and turned into something else. But also through that, I realized how much I truly enjoy being an instructor, and those were funny, more entertainment. They're not really.
I was on a few of them.
You were.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley
nice,
was there a
right
lot. Yeah, hardcore girl. And I just really liked how much I like. They are entertaining, but I also really love instructing and exercising in general. And not gonna lie, seeing yourself on camera every day, full body squatting, makes you want to get in shape.
Yeah.
And a heartbeat. So so I did, and now I'm just loving all of it.
Well, dude, and Ashley, you've been like thriving this year too. Like I know this year.
Aw,
For real,
thank
girl,
you.
you've
Thank
inspired
you.
me. You know what I think is so great is like Ashley and I's relationship is totally gone a 360, and that in the beginning, like I was really helping her a lot and leading her, and now it's like total she is leading me, and like I'm like
We've
just
got
my
each other's
crutch.
back.
Yeah, dude.
There's just less back fat. But it was kind of like opposite for me in the beginning of COVID. I was at home making videos on cooking because I am not the greatest in the kitchen. So it was kind of funny, but it was not healthy. I gained the quarantine 15. So my COVID experience has been a little bit different where I started off really well. I was down, 15 pounds. Then I gained it all back during earlier months. And then I'm like, okay, girlfriend, you got to get it back together. So I completely shifted my focus back on fitness and trying to eat healthy. And then now my goal is to get back into the kitchen, but with healthier things to learn
So
that.
cool. I didn't know that. Awesome.
Thanks. Yes, it hasn't started yet because that's what I'll talk about it for a little bit and then I'll make the decision.
Are you going to become a meal prepper?
It's always been a goal of mine, and I've never once been able to get it together.
Yeah, which yours is awesome. You post on Sundays, all of your beautiful Instagram of like me. I'm like, damn, I need to go to her house.
Well, she makes it funny. Like now I call it chicken titty just to be. I use that term all the time now, chicken tits. And I hated the word titty until Amanda started calling it chicken titty. Now I think it's hilarious.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm already hungry. Start talking right now.
I know I'm hungry.
Talking
I'm
about
always
titties makes you hungry.
No, chicken.
Titties make me hungry. They make me thirsty.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But so, I mean, how much weight have you lost this year? Did you lose the 15 you got back from COVID?
Yes.
Right
So I've lost 22 pounds.
Damn.
Yes.
Congrats.
Thank you. And now I would like to lose 18 more.
Right on.
Nice.
So
Solid goal.
what have you been doing? Like what were all the things that went? I mean, you said how you gained the weight, then how did you lose it?
So I got on a plan that people probably have heard of. It's called Optavia. It's not for everybody. I was on their shakes and bars and things like that. And you're supposed to learn how to make healthier choices to transition off of their food.
Yeah.
I didn't learn that. I just stayed like eating the bars because I'm like so grab and go.
Yeah.
And a little lazy. So I stayed on their plan and then just lifting weights every day.
Right on.
I lift every
Do you
single
do
day.
that at home or do you go to a gym?
It's creepy. I go to a trainer's basement at his house.
Okay.
So when the gym shut down, I was still able to go there.
Okay.
Yes, and we've been working out pretty consistently for a year.
Oh, that's
So
badass.
like since last like October or something like that. And then I do this thing where I sign up for different gyms and like do their classes for cardio, and then I disappear, and then
Oh,
I sign
you
up
get
for
the free
another
classes, man.
And then I do another gym. Oh no, I'm an idiot, and I'll pay for it. And oh yeah, yes. So I'm
Do the
learning.
intro everywhere. You know?
Right. And then one I really love is called Vibe Dance Fitness.
Okay.
It's kind of like Zumba, but to like some like hood ass music.
Oh, have you
love
seen Dance Factory Fitness?
I have not.
Oh, that's similar. Also, I do Dance Fix. Well, I do. I've done Dance Fix a couple times. I was actually supposed to go this morning and I missed it.
That's
but
okay.
they're kind of all similar. But yours is definitely more hood music. For sure.
I feel like for me, I'm not a big cardio person. I'm not going to go run a marathon. I'm not going to run hardly at all. So dancing for an hour, it's fun. You know?
Yeah.
See, I have no coordination.
I'm not good at it.
Nobody does. That's what the best thing about those things is like so many of the people in there can't dance, but you're all just trying. So then it makes it hilarious. And then you're laughing while you're like, I can't do this. But
And then you're
it's an
sweating, and then you
excellent
look
way
at your
to
little
exercise.
you look at your little watch, and you're like, I just burned 400 calories in an hour. So I've been doing that, and then just drinking a ton of water.
Yeah, because you stopped drinking booze, right?
Oh yeah, I did that too.
That seems pretty major from the Ashley that I used to hang out with.
Smashly. Yeah, I used to be big drinker, big partier, and I just I don't want to be that anymore. I want to be healthy and feel good because that's another thing. I mean, I would drink and then the next day, I'm not
Taco Bell.
I'm not picking a salad.
Right.
It's not happening.
Well, do you feel like because of COVID, is that an easier choice because you're not going to concerts like all summer?
Oh, RIP concerts. I miss this. Yeah, it definitely made it easier because I'm not going out anywhere. Bars, restaurants, there's because drinking and eating food, that's a social thing for me.
Yeah.
I like to go out to eat with my friends. That's what we do. Then we drink a beer and then we drink 4, 7, 8 more. So having everything closed down and being at my she shed, having to like look at my life and evaluate myself, inspired, just a lot of change. And it's been like a little lonely, but I think it's all going in the right direction. And I feel better. You know what I mean? Yeah. That energy, you can't, I'm waking up and I'm like, I'm not hungover. And I literally talk to my mom. I'm like, Mom, how did I do all of the events and all of my days hung over? How did I do it? And she's
barely
like,
did.
It's because you don't know the difference of the feeling of not doing it. Like, it's like once you know how good it feels and you can feel the difference, but if that's like your like normal go-to, same thing if you're just like eating garbage all the time, like let's take the booze out of it. And that's just your normal feeling. You don't know how you can feel differently until you cut it out.
Cut it out. And then I think once you start making better choices for yourself, things kind of just like align. So I said I was doing the Optavia thing and that was just a personal choice. Well, then through the radio station, I had, a salesperson asked me if I'd be interested in a food program, a healthy food program, which a year ago, nobody would have approached me with that question. So doing this Profile by Sanford deal kind of just allows me to live the lifestyle I want, as well as incorporate, I don't know, now some kind of payment behind it or just like influencing people. I'm able to, I don't know where I'm really going with this. I'm just able to be myself, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's tying into my job.
That's cool. I call it your soul speak. You're like, you get to do that for your job.
Yes.
And lead in a way. I think that's going to be empowering for you and everything. It's all aligning.
Yeah, coming together. A salesperson wouldn't have approached me a year ago with anything healthy. They'd have been like, girlfriend, do you need like cheeseburgers?
Pizza?
Yeah. Oh, I still got my pizza though. I love my pizza. And that's another thing. Balance, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
dude, yeah,
I kind of do what Natalie does of like go hardcore, throw yourself into something, go 0 to 100. But we have our days where I tell her or she tells me like, just chill out. Like let's rest, reset. That's super important.
Yeah, because I'm the same way. Because I'm such a go hard, pedal to the metal person too. Until like I've like literally burnt myself out and been like had to stop doing things, and that's when it sucks. It's like when your body is like no more. Yeah, but it's like it's so again like learning that balance of like instead of just going like so hard or nothing. Yeah, it's like it's hard, dude.
I kind of feel like COVID has helped me learn balance so much, and I'm loving it, especially like exercising used to like take over my world, exercising and fitness, because I'm just obsessed with it. Maybe in a bad, I feel like I had a negative, or maybe not as healthy of a relationship with it before COVID. And now I do, because like you've had time to really think about it. Been like, I have not been doing this to help myself, just doing it to, for other reasons, or was just in
like
a
an
cycle.
escape.
Yeah. And so now I just like, I freaking love it. I love the feelings that I get from it, the feel like, I'm getting empowered and doing all different kinds of stuff. And really
so for both of you, like, do you have any concerns about when things go back to quote unquote normal? We got concerts again, bars are open.
I love concerts and bars.
I know. So it's like the same. Like, how hard do you think that this lifestyle is going to be ingrained that you just are not like, well, we wilding out here, man. We getting hammered and passed
There's
out
Ashley
in the
with her
lawn.
Bud Light. I thought you were a White Claw girl.
I'm personally not that worried about it because I also got old over this time. I'm not old, but like,
We've all aged
hold on.
this year.
Yeah, but like, I feel like I don't even want to do that stuff anymore. I'm 35 now, and to me, I just feel like I've been to every restaurant. I have like partied so hard in my life already, to be really honest, that if I never did another day for the rest of my life, I'd be like, I've already done a lifetime. I'd probably still max, maybe not you, well, maybe not either of you out, but like max a normal person out.
Hey, Amanda used to be a big partier too.
I know, right? It just doesn't really appeal to me as much anymore. Like I can't imagine being that same Natalie anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like a real solid foundational difference.
Well, I feel like the last 2 times this year, because at the beginning of COVID, I drank a lot more than I usually did.
Yeah,
And,
I'll say it. Yeah.
and it wasn't even what it was is because Mike, my husband, started working from home, and then it's kind of like
Crack
we're
one.
both working from home, and then he's just kind of like, and at first, like everything closed down. We're like, well, we wanted the brewery down the street to stay open,
Yeah.
so like let's go get some beers, let's hang on the porch, like because before COVID and like last year, we were both so insanely busy. Like I was insanely busy, so there was like we never just sat and got to hang out because there was always somewhere to go. So then it was just kind of like, oh well. Simple pleasure. Let's sit here and have a beer and drink. And so I was drinking way more than I normally did.
The whole country was.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And so then, but the last couple times and plus it just takes me not much to go from 0 to blackout. It's just how my body is. And the last 2 times I drank too much, and not even a lot compared to what I've done before. I've thrown up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is how I know I'm getting old. And my body's like, nah,
No,
girl,
not for us.
you don't need to do this no more.
No.
And so I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
I look at it as like through COVID and the learning experience and saying concerts are going to be back, hopefully. Bars are going to be open. In my experience, you just have to have a healthy relationship with, your drinking, or, you have to know your limit, obviously. But like you said, you got sick and you didn't feel good or you did it too much.
Yeah.
It's just like I told Natalie one time, like it's just you're going to the next level or like part of your life, and maybe this part isn't meant to come like with you.
Leveling up.
Leveling up.
Leave it behind.
Because not only like do you, or me personally, lost like all the drinking I was doing, I lost friendships, relationships, which weren't necessarily meant for me. But at the time, they aligned with what I was doing. But when you change what you're doing, change your mindset, I mean, everything around you is going to change. So once I go back to the bar, what's going to be the same people there doing the same stuff? And I'm going to end up at Pepper Pot at 3:30 in the morning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, it's so true. I went to a bar because a friend of mine who doesn't live here came into town and wanted to go to like his favorite place that we used to go to, whatever. And I haven't been there in a year maybe. And I went, in COVID time, so it was awkward. We were all wearing masks and outside or whatever. But still, I hated being there. I like didn't even have a drink, which I don't know if I've ever gone to a bar and not had a drink in my entire life. But I was like, let's just like, I don't want to be here. I'm going to give you your gift and just head out. It was the same people, same shit. And
You just wanted to, it's not you or who you are anymore. Don't get me wrong. I'll probably stumble into Jersey's or wherever and mess up a time or two.
Oh yeah, that's life.
Or have
dude.
fun, but like
That's the balance.
it's how you get up the next day. Now you don't have to go on like a 3-day drinking binge or eat terribly, or maybe you do get up and go to the gym. Whereas a year ago, I would just be like, I don't feel good. I'm not going to move for the whole day.
Yeah.
Well, it's
and
great that you're
order
not-
DoorDash.
I feel like you're not letting anything else influence you. You're like, I'm making these decisions. I'm doing this. And I want to say this about you. Like you are with drinking and other things in your life, you're just like, you are making your decision and you're doing it. And I think that's really great. It
Thank
should
you.
be applauded and
I'm trying to build the
celebrated.
life I want, peeps.
Good for you.
I mean,
That shit ain't easy, It's
Oh,
really
it's not.
all right.
It's not.
Well, that's the thing too. I think about this year. I mean, although this year has just totally sucked and is a dumpster fire, I think we can all agree on that. But it does. It's like it does make you shift, and like, and it is like I have completely changed so much as a person of like what my goals are, what I want. It's almost just kind of like just a smack to the face of like, you got this one life. What are you going to do with it? You know what I mean? Of like, and just changing habits. And it's like growth is like messy and freaking hard. Like you said, like
It
losing
is.
relationships, that sucks.
Sometimes it's lonely, dude.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, yeah, just stay home. And I'm like, I live by myself. Like, there's nobody to talk to. And I have to stay within my own head and maybe unpack stuff I've never even thought about before or looked at. However, I mean, it's led me to right here. And I feel pretty good in this space.
Which is pretty cool.
Well, you look awesome. You're one hot bitch.
Congratulations. And I would say like,
That's so sweet.
it's so true. And not everybody does that. Like, for instance, this morning, like I was going to go to 2 workout classes today. Honestly, just to like, one, because I wanted to get certified there, and another one was the dance class that I was just going to take it easy and
Shake it.
and see my friends, you know? And I decided not to go. I was really tired and we slept in or whatever. And the people I was with were like, and by the way, I did end up going to a cardio bar later on in the day. But
You said bar.
but like my mom, my friend who was there were like, girl, like take a break or just stop.
Stop.
And hold on, but I wasn't overdoing it. I didn't, and I was like, you guys just aren't on my level of life. Honestly, I was like, you guys, what do you guys do? I was looking at their lives, and I was like, y'all just sit around and like drink too much, and you've been doing nothing. You haven't been accomplishing as much as I have. I was like, you're just not on my level.
Exactly.
You know, I was like, you just don't get it. And I truly love exercising and love going to group classes. Like, I don't like going to gyms by myself anymore. I'll never have another gym membership.
Really?
Oh, I'm not good at it either. I always need a personal trainer. I need somebody to hold me accountable because if I can lay in my bed or on my couch and I don't have it anywhere to be and I'm like, oh, I'll go to the gym when I feel like it. I don't ever feel like it. I'm a little opposite when there. I'm like, I don't want to go. But then I'm like, oh, I'm meeting so-and-so and I'll get up and go.
See, I'm the opposite though. I mean, I like being around people, but I would much prefer to like lift and stuff by myself than go to a class. I get way too in my head about classes. Like sometimes I enjoy it. Like I'm really enjoying Pilates classes. It's a really small class size, but like as far as like boot camp sort of stuff, or you think of like, that especially if it's a circuit, and people like you're switching stations, I get so much anxiety about like I'm slowing them down.
Oh,
Am
dude,
I
I
doing this
totally
good
slow them
enough?
down.
Oh but I hate it. It's like that's all I think about instead of enjoying the exercise is I'm constantly worried about how am I screwing everybody else up? Am I doing this wrong? I have to ask the instructor.
You got to get the hell out of your head, dude.
I do what I know.
Because
I'm really bad
I'm
at
like
that.
a
You
misfit
need to do more
there.
yoga. I feel like that's how you get over it. Like I feel like when I first started doing yoga, I was so preoccupied with how I looked and how comparing my yoga skills compared to everybody else. And the whole point of yoga is meditation and being by yourself.
You're just scared like you're going to be the one to fart.
Yeah, also that. but I feel like in other classes as well. Like I feel like as someone who has been there before, and now I feel like I've evolved past that because of yoga.
Yeah.
You just like I feel like going to those classes is like going to the doctor. You have to 100% accept yourself for who you are and not lie about anything and just focus on you. Like you're not going to lie to your doctor about something. You're not going to get treated well.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be 100% honest no matter what. Say all the dirty stuff, you know? It's the same thing as going to the gym and exercising. Like being completely honest with your body, not lie about it, like not pushing it as much, you know?
Yeah.
And just like taking your time. And you're just like, we're on different levels.
Well, and see, that's just a thing that I've gotten a lot better with this year, especially because I've had a jacked up year where I couldn't exercise, which really mentally messed me up.
I can't imagine.
It was horrible. And so, and then starting Pilates, where I feel like this is a lot of growth for me, is to say no. So like if it's like, hey, do this thing, like do a plank on the reformer. I'm like, no, that's going to hurt me. Like, and standing, but before Amanda pre-2020 would have been like, yeah, I got this.
Pushing
like,
yourself to a limit.
Yeah, and so like I would just try everything. I would try everything to the hardest level, and I wouldn't do any of the modifications. And so also like speaking up for myself and saying no, and also not being afraid to ask questions. So like the last Pilates class I took a few days ago, like I mean, I was asking questions, and then I worry that I'm like, am I being a bitch right now? Of like, am I bothering them? I'm like, that's how in my head, I'm like, get past it. You don't know what it means. Ask the question out loud. So that's a step for me because I'll always try the class. I'll try it. So I'll push myself to do those things, but I'll still be in my head, and I'll only repeatedly go if I can get out of my head. And so again, that's just what the growth thing is. It's hard for me to speak up and ask questions. It's hard for me to stand up for myself. And I've been doing that this year out of all the exercising and stuff that I've done and all of these classes and all these places I've been. It's still like even for as long, I was in freaking radio for over 20 years. Anytime I had to step on stage or anything like that, I thought I was going to throw up. Anytime I had to do any sort of public speaking, like it's just like, but it's the constant like just do it anyway.
Well, it's like super cliche, but getting out of your comfort zone is where you grow.
Yeah.
So everything's gonna feel uncomfortable and weird and terrible. And I've felt it, and that's why probably I do just go to my friend's house because I don't feel comfortable going into Planet Fitness or something and just lifting weights. I just am intimidated. I don't know if it's like with men being there or if I'm doing something wrong. So I totally understand that fear. At least you're shifting it and trying it, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just pushing that envelope a little bit more because I'm like, this is going to help me. This is about me. And again, I'm like, I'm so worried about sounding like a bitch. And I'm like, and so what if I do? Like, I have a right to be here and ask questions. And like, nobody thinks it or second guesses it. And it's just like, that's all the story I'm writing in my own head.
Yeah, your own narrative.
And it's like, that's just, that's part of like the messy growth stuff. It's like, okay, well, step one, recognizing that I do those things.
Yes.
And two, of like, is that serving me? No, it's not. So how can I move forward where I'm doing something that serves me more? And I think that's just everything about life, really. Is like you have to be so self-aware about what are you doing? Like, how are you using food? How are you using exercise or anything else in life? Are you using it as a crutch? Are you using it to numb out? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And then, okay, well, I don't want to do this anymore. How do I work this out in a reasonable way?
And I think what you're absorbing outside of the gym, just like content, what you're reading, what you're looking at, lots of people, especially now in the middle of a pandemic, binge watching TV.
Yeah.
You know, I think what you surround yourself with plays a big influence on what decisions you're
huge.
making.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
So I don't, again, know really where I was going with that, but like, I know that I like wake up and maybe listen to a motivational speech before I start scrolling Facebook in the morning, like just little stuff. I'm not 100% big on like meditation, probably because I just don't even know how to do it exactly, but I want to get more into that space.
See, that's something I've done a
yes.
lot this year, and I would always stop because I can't quiet my own head. But if I listen to guided meditations, I'm good. And then there's always a part of me, again, that go hard of just like, because you can't do it the quote unquote right way.
You guys,
I know. And so it's
meditation
like,
will
shut
change your
up.
world. I would
Yeah.
say like yoga. Before I went on a yoga retreat 5 years ago when I was 30,
Always wanted to do that.
and I went to Cambodia, went to this whole thing. And before every yoga class I'd ever been to, I was like scared to go to. And I lived in Colorado, and everyone was like fit as fuck and
All
like,
yogis out
all
there.
into it.
Yeah.
And like I worked at bars, and I was always hungover. Like I can gotta make it. But I love exercising, so I would try to exercise. But I was always so out of my league, and everyone was always so. I would hold everybody up that I would be intimidated to go to classes then. And then when I went to this yoga class, anyway, so when I was there going to yoga classes, I was crazy, not actually meditating, and insecure about everybody else being there. And then after I went to this meditation retreat where I really learned how to meditate and listen to myself and leave it on the table, it was crazy life-changing. And all you got to do is just focus on breathing in and out of your nose, and I'm telling you, your world will open up. Just relax. But it's hard to like really, really relax, you know? And then you get to know yourself in a whole other way. Just saying. And like a pro tip, which might help, is I always imagine having a conversation with myself wearing the exact clothes that I'm wearing. Like imagine like hugging yourself in the clothes that you're wearing in that moment, and then like talking to yourself. Like, what would you say to that person?
I'd be like, girl, you feel solid. You've been working out.
Right? And then they'd be like, hell yeah.
Squeeze me
Anyway.
harder.
Well,
I love that.
But speaking of that too, not only like, so I've been doing these guided meditations, but this is a little more crunchy, but I've done like these like led like past life regressions. That's been super interesting.
What is that?
So it's like kind of like a guided meditation. I can send you like the YouTube link. It's on YouTube, and I have the link that has no commercials in it because it kind of snaps you out of it whenever you're trying to meditate.
Yeah, and then it's like, hey, what kind of laundry detergent are you using?
Cheetos. Yay.
But it's basically like the one that I've done before. And again, it's all your interpretation of it. Even if it begins by saying, even if you don't believe this and you think of like, oh, this is just a story I'm telling myself, like you're not really seeing like the universe is telling you something, then they're like, isn't it interesting to see what your brain tells itself at the very least of the story that your brain will create in this? And so basically it's like meditation. It gets you down. It's like almost like a hypnosis sort of thing. Like you're nice and calm. And then it walks you through tries to have you pretend like you're going through your own birth and what you would feel through that. And then like you go through a door and all this stuff, and then it just like, okay, like you've gone through this thing. They're like, look down. Are you wearing shoes? What kind of shoes are they? And then like you kind of envision like, what do things look like? Where are you? Like what is this? And it kind of goes from there. And it's really interesting.
That's cool.
It's very different.
What did you guys just imagine in your head?
For some reason, I was wearing Yeezys eating cotton candy.
Eating what?
Cotton candy.
Wait, hold on. Wearing Yeezys?
Yeezys.
Oh, God.
Do you know what I think of cotton candy? All I can see, I'm going to take it at another weird level. All I can imagine is that video where the raccoon puts the cotton candy in the stream and it dissolves and he's all sad.
Oh,
I've never seen
That's
it.
probably what I should do with that cotton candy. I don't need to eat that. What am I doing?
I didn't know that you like Yeezys.
I don't. They're overpriced.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
But speaking of a comment you made here, which we kind of mentioned a little bit before we started recording, that I wanted to come back to, where you said you'd hug yourself and be like, "Oh, you're like solid."
Yeah.
That you like the kind of comments that you've gotten from losing weight. I think that's interesting. I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation actually on this podcast before, Natalie, about like quote unquote compliments or like body comments, and how somebody thinks that they're complimenting you, but it's like,
You're like, excuse me.
yeah, like I think a classic
You actually
one is,
did it right. Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
you actually showed up on time. I
Yeah.
hear shit like that all the time.
Yes. Or just like with the body.
Wow,
like,
no way. You did that. Oh.
yeah, or you look healthy. Of like,
Yeah.
does
You
healthy
look
mean fat? Does it
fat?
mean thick? Or does it mean I
Yeah.
look fit? Like,
I've been told I look sturdy. And I'm just
Dear
like,
Lord.
well, I'm not gonna blow away in the wind, that's for sure.
yeah, sturdy is an interesting choice of words.
And another word is thick, like THIC.
I hate being called thick.
Actually, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but it's just like also, well, I'm trying to look fit. And so when you say thick, it could be taken as like a negative. So I'm like, can you just say thick, fit, or fit, thick? Just throw the word fit
I mean, I feel like
in there.
You can do it. Hyphenate yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like
Cool. I'm
fit,
gonna put
like
that
you can't go wrong with fit. But also, it's like again
Thick
goes
fit.
into the conversation.
That's a term.
Thick fit. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. The more you know.
They don't ever say it to me, but it's a term.
Well, it's just it makes it hard anyway when you get compliments or just any sort of comment on your body, which people will do if they notice you lose weight. They automatically assume that's what you've wanted. But like then it's also so because you don't know if somebody has cancer or something like that too, and you're
have
like,
no
oh,
idea.
you look great, and you'd be like,
Right. They're
like
exactly,
it's
they're sick.
It's
Yes.
just dangerous waters to play in.
100%. I remember I met this guy at a bar, and we were of course talking about it. I was on the radio, and I showed him a picture, and he's like, "That's not you. That girl's fat," and it was me. And then I was like,
God.
"Well, this
Well, first off, that's
conversation's
mean.
over."
Yeah, right. I've had this was this here in Cincinnati? God, I don't know. I've been too many places. I don't remember where it was, where somebody met me in person and they're like, "Oh, you're way prettier than I thought you were going to be."
I get that all the
And I'm like,
time.
okay.
Jeez.
Yeah. I would say like
that is harsh.
90% of the people who I meet are like, wait, you're Natalie? Oh.
And you're like,
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
what
they're,
does
they're
that
always like, you're
mean?
way prettier. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
I mean, that's a compliment, I guess, but it's like, what were you
right?
envisioning? of
Is
me?
it because my voice is like this? God. I slept with my mouth open last night.
Well, that's what's hard too about like, having a job like radio where you are like in a public job, and then people just feel like there's like a layer that's even taken away of like you're not a person anymore. You know, it feels like you're open to, oh, this is what I think about you, and I'm like, as if
Yeah.
you're just like a character on a TV show.
There are
and it's
no
like, no, dude,
boundaries.
this is me, a person.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about this morning about how in order to make your show and your content good, if you really want to, you really have to be vulnerable and break down some boundaries. And
Yeah.
then where do you build them back up? I feel like I just put up slats of like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes
Bamboo?
I'll put up, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, sometimes they're tense, but like all of them boundaries are down for the most part, which I feel like just makes you more susceptible and vulnerable and
Well, it is, and it's
emotional
hard
about it.
because if you are sharing something really vulnerable and you would hope that the reaction is somebody being like, oh, me too, I relate, thank you for sharing. But it always has the possibility to go the opposite way, where somebody can just be like, oh, well, you're a piece of trash and I don't like you anymore. I'm never going to listen again or whatever
You're like,
else. And you're just
okay.
like, oh, God,
Talk
okay.
to you
It's like you
tomorrow.
have to be prepared, which I feel like I have some PTSD from working radio for multiple reasons. But one of them is too, like if I see a comment or like I can see a DM and I can see like the first couple words and like I feel like it's going to go a certain way. Like I automatically tense, like they're going to be mad at me. They're going to like rip into me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I'll always just go there and go through it. But it's like, I feel like, I don't know. It's just, you're just so used to like comments. Not that I've ever gotten like an insane amount of negative comments, but it's like you brace yourself of like,
Well, it's like
what's coming my way.
Yeah, you get 100 positive comments, and then the one negative one is what sticks with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
It's everybody, though.
And that's what's hard whenever you are sharing your body online. You're purposely putting out there, I'm losing weight, I'm getting fit, here's me and my body. Like, even whether you're on the radio or a public figure or not, like, you're opening the doors to all of the internet
Yes.
to comment on your body. And then sometimes it can be positive, but it's a little too positive.
Oh, yeah. And then it's creepy. And then they want to see pictures of your toes. And you're like, well, they're the same.
Charge for that,
Yeah.
son.
They're the same size. Okay.
I'm like, what are you putting out there? Ashley, you do have quite the following.
Quite the following. We'll go with that.
Oh, you got an
do.
OnlyFans? You making some side money, girl?
Oh, my God. I wish I wouldn't live in a shed if that was the case.
I think you should get a crotch cam and just see what happens. You know?
No, I don't have an OnlyFans.
Mad money selling your underwear on
I heard
OnlyFans.
you can just like wear your underwear one time
Yo,
and then you sell them.
I knew this
to
real
somebody.
trashy
I don't
girl
do
in
that,
college
but-
who did that a lot. She also was in a polyamorous relationship that did not go well. But just saying.
But you could even wear like
made a lot of
shoes
money.
and sell them.
Yeah.
People will literally
I was
buy
listening
anything that you
to a
wear.
podcast the other day, and they were talking about how this guy knew a girl that has an OnlyFans and got paid $4,000 for her poop.
That's disgusting.
I mean, but would you do
it
it
for $4,000?
Yes, I would for sure.
I would too.
I was gonna say
total.
girls don't poop.
Oh, no, yeah, that's true.
No, I
I'm
don't know.
sorry.
I heard about a girl that made $70,000 in 1 month. I don't know what the hell she did. And this guy was like on my Snapchat all the time. You should do an OnlyFans, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I mean, the money would be great, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna just continue to lose weight and not be
Stay
naked
on the righteous path.
Not naked
Stay
on
on the
camera.
righteous path.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm totally joking about it, but I would never actually do it.
You would never sell your poop for $4,000?
I mean, really?
Thinks about it.
I know. I, mean,
I know,
have
but
to
like-
think of it. $4,000's a lot of money.
I totally would. Not even second guess.
I guess it
What a
depends.
fucking freak. I don't care. It's not my world. I don't care. $4,000, sure. It
But-
literally is shit.
Okay, but like,
I bet you get a message after this podcast.
but let's but back the train up though. So like, do you have to provide proof then? Like, do you have to provide a video to
my gosh,
prove that it's
this is-
yours? Like, if you're spending that kind of investment, I just feel like a Tupperware shows up. Like that
Ew.
you have to give more than that.
Okay, if I'm thinking like no strings attached, I'm just sending you my poop and that is it, then like, hell yes, I'm doing it. Pay me first. I will use that or pay for the shipping of it.
the shipping, please.
Which then is it a game? Like, this is gonna be a good one.
I don't want to talk anymore about it now. Actually. No, I'm like
Smellgram,
right?
Skankgram, or something.
God.
Could come up with a pretty good name for it.
I love that this conversation
Went
there.
right to shit. Great.
Oh my god. So then,
Do you have a healthy GI tract? I don't know. You know?
yeah, how's your gut health?
Right.
How's your
Oh,
gut
well,
been?
you know, it's all come see, come saw. You know, it depends on if I have my.
That was a great response.
Depends if I have how regular I've been about my morning smoothies, which I usually cannot miss a day.
Put some psyllium husk in there, then you'll be good.
I'm worried that's going to make me gassy. I have some, but I've never put it in my smoothies. Usually, if I just am good with my smoothies, I'm good to go. Beachy Deb, to make it real talk. Would you like my psyllium husk? I've never opened it.
Can
No, I
somebody
haven't
tell me
tried.
what that is?
It's a natural laxative.
Oh.
It's like
It just adds fiber. So it's a soluble fiber, which means that it will collect a lot of other
Toxins?
matter in your GI
it's
tract.
just like a sweep of your
and
intestines.
yeah, sweep it out.
Oof.
But it doesn't taste like anything, and you can put it in smoothies. It's just like husk. It's like holes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like ground up.
Weird.
Yeah, I've
Which
never
like
tried it. I'll
Metamucil
try it.
has psyllium husk in it.
Yeah, Metamucil doesn't really work for me, so I'll try and see how it goes. But
Let us know. Report back.
I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna charge you for it.
I got $4.
Yeah. I could have got 4 McChickens. Damn.
4 McChickens in, $4,000 out.
Hell
Oh my
yes, it was
God.
worth it. Worth it.
That's a profit right
Oh,
there,
yeah, the
girl.
poop
That's a
joke.
come up.
What do you say to corn when you eat it?
See you
See you
later.
later.
Oh yeah, duh. You guys both
See you again.
See you later. That's
Oh,
the,
yeah.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's so disgusting.
Well, you knew that. Besties forever.
Corn's a starch. Don't eat it.
You can eat it, just in
yeah.
moderation. But corn's so much better when you slather it in butter too.
And salt.
Yeah, it's a vehicle for butter for me.
A vehicle for butter. I like that.
A lot of things are. I just love butter. So
I love food. I love food. So that's been another big challenge with going on these programs. And they're like, you can have 5 shakes and a bar and 1 meal. And then I'm like, oh, I'm starving. However, it's like learning tips and tricks. What can I add to this shake to make it more
Are
filling?
you not allowed to eat vegetables and stuff on your own?
Oh, you can. I just am bad about eating vegetables because I'm like, nothing in my body tells me I want carrots or broccoli. However, I've learned that seasoning is a
Yes,
big
yeah.
game changer.
It totally is. And it also, you mentally change your taste buds the more that you eat vegetables. You will start craving vegetables. You start craving smoothies and stuff. So the more that you do it, it just becomes a habit. Like your entire insides just change, and that's what you want.
I can't wait for that day.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. I mean, your palate
Your
will
palate
change.
change. I do love like salads, but then it's like you got to be careful. You
There's a
know, you
lot
think
of
you're
ranch on
eating,
there.
you think you're eating something healthy, and then you're like, I need extra dressing, croutons.
This is so exciting for me that you're just starting this journey. Like you have so much to learn. Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
I know.
This is so good.
Yeah, please teach me.
Yeah, if you need help with the food stuff, I got you on that.
I know. Can you cook it? Can I just buy it from you?
I mean, if you want to pay me for it, I
Not
mean,
$4,000, but
there is no guarantee I'm not gonna like give you worms or something. Like,
oh my god,
I mean, you're gonna eat a lot of my hair. I guess I have to get a hairnet.
perfect. On the Amanda Valentine diet, it is hair, and I'm not sure what this is.
A little
Chicken titties.
Yeah, a little salmonella in there.
Little salmon.
Well, see, that's the thing about me meal prepping, and a lot of people have asked me, like, "Oh, it'd just be easier if you made it for me." But I'm like, I'm not like a chef. I'm not like a
food service
kitchen. Like,
either.
you know,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
don't have a meat thermometer. Like, I'm not. That's where I'm like, I could make it, but I'm not like I eat the stuff that I like,
Right.
And so, which is a thing with social media, because social media is its own animal. That I'll get comments and stuff of like, I don't like that, and I'm like, then don't eat it.
Yeah.
Make something else.
I'm like, I'm just showing you guys what I'm doing, and I'm trying to give some suggestions, but it's like I would never want to just tell people what to eat. Everybody is so incredibly different, and that's where it's too of like, you know, in the things that I eat, I don't feel like are really blowing everybody's skirt up all the time. Like I prefer to eat just really plain and boring.
Can I be real honest about something?
No.
So back at like in the times that so health and fitness and nutrition has always been like a passion of mine. So, but like, so along my life, I've tried to, I say this for age wise, like I've tried to meal prep many times, right? The healthiest things, whatever. And I feel like I just had a really negative relationship with food. And every time I would like make stuff that didn't have as much flavor, I didn't really like, didn't have a lot of fat in it, I would just binge eat it. Like I would make meal prep all of this food and it'd be gone by Monday night.
And
I would just eat all of it.
Mine would just sit, and I waste all of it, and then I waste my money, and then it sits in my fridge.
Yeah.
And you know
And
what I
then I
mean?
end up just eating other stuff that I enjoy
Drive-through, baby.
anyway. But I even like, yeah, I mean, I personally don't like drive-through and don't eat fast food, but like
Good for you.
other stuff, I think the point of it, like the binging part of it was like I couldn't like handle all of that food just being there, and it was just like chicken and asparagus. And I was
You're
like,
just
fuck this. But I had to like get it out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could do that with like a cake, but
See, like for me, it's such a mental game of like when, like, let's say the chicken, rice, and broccoli isn't especially blowing my skirt up, then it's like, well, take it back to why am I doing this? What are my goals? What is this doing for me? Like versus if I just took another route and ordered takeout or something like that. And it's like, how am I going to feel? And that's where it's like so much of self-awareness. If like, that's the things that I have to do, especially like when I'm on top of my game of like, yeah, I want to do those things. And I'm not saying that I don't, but it's like, I really like stop the brakes and sit and talk to myself of like, how am I going to feel mentally and physically if I order Chinese food right now? Do I want that? If it's like, hell yeah, I don't care, then let's do it. If it's like, this is just going to make me feel bad. I know that I already have this healthy meal made. I'm going to enjoy it once I eat it. Like, it's like, and then it's like a 30-second conversation.
May I ask how you started that? Because I feel like I have an app on my phone called Recovery Road that deals with, because I feel like there's like a disordered eating element in it, you know?
Oh, I definitely have
like,
eating disorder.
I mean, same. And I feel like don't, just because of you in radio, I talk about it now, but like, it's kind of like it doesn't control my thoughts anymore and like my life as much because I have this app that I like talk about it. Actually, it makes me, because like, how did you get in the habit of doing that like every time? Because I feel like I like legit forget. I don't know, I'm busy or I'll just numb and like I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I forget to find my why every time.
I think it's because I'm always from the beginning, which isn't this bananas at the beginning of this current weight loss journey I'm on now, which with all of its ups and downs and crazy stuff that's happened, has been this New Year's. So in a couple weeks, it'll be 9 years. So for me, it's been 9. I have not had fast food or soda in 9 years.
Good for you.
Which is bonkers, which I made that rule at the time because I could not regulate it. I knew I couldn't just do and again, like I'm in a place now where I'm like, I can do it. I know the menu. I'm more educated on it. It's not going to take over. But at the time when I started, I mean, I was just plowing through lots. I mean, I was doing a lot of binge eating, like really, like to the point of pain every single night.
Yeah.
So there, on top of that, even when I wasn't binging, I was just eating a lot of fast food, drinking a ton of Red Bull. I was doing a morning show, so like you do, Ashley, like you're just tired. So it's like crush a Red Bull to feel alive, and so that was decision was like I can't just, that has to be an all or nothing for me. Like, and I'm like, I'm so addicted to caffeine, which I still have an issue with. I'm like, I need to train myself to drink coffee. And then that was a whole process for me too, that took about a year from working myself into being able to drink black coffee. But I'd say that to answer your question, through this whole process, I think what constantly drives me through that is just always mixing up a set of goals. Like it's not always just a weight loss goal. Like for me, it was fitness goals. Like I want to run a 5K. I want to do these things. And so whenever I have any of these smaller goals, which I'm saying like 9 years later, I still have plenty of goals to do.
Right. Keep climbing.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, when I'm faced in that moment of what do I choose? What do I want? Then it's like, this is my goal right now. Which one serves me to my goal? Which one's going to make me slide backwards? Which one's going to push me closer to it? And so I think the goals are kind of tied in the overall thing. And also for me too, like so much of this is, which I can send you guys if you want. I did this thing because this is a new for me this year too, is having a therapist. So that was one of my things that I hired her as soon as I left the radio station. And I just did a thing with her like a month or two ago where you have this whole list of like 80 values. And then you cut them all up and then you narrow it down to your top 20 values in life. And then with her, she worked me down to the top 3, which is really freaking hard.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And one of my top values was health, which an older version of me would have never put that there. And she's like, why did you choose that? And I'm like, because I know for me, everything in my life clicked more. I was more successful in my job. I was more successful in my relationship. Everything works better when I took care of me and healthy. Healthy doesn't mean skinny. It doesn't mean weight loss. It means mentally and physically healthy. And the things that make me do that are eating the right foods, moving my right body, doing mindfulness, meditation, all of that plays into that. And since that is such a huge driver for me, that's a forever goal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that doesn't just go away. Health is a forever practice. That's awesome. So not to say that I haven't skidded off the rails, which I did this year, not being able to exercise, life get flipped upside down. Things happen. Yeah. But because of have these really strong foundations of that, it's easier to pull yourself back up from it. And so whenever I am having the decider of, do I want to sit here and slam a 6-pack right now? It's like, is this the healthiest thing for me? Right. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I need to numb out because I can't feel right. I don't want to feel this right now. And then, I'll deal with that later.
But you just drink the 6-pack. You don't go for 12. You know what I mean?
Right? It's like, I need to do this.
A boundary.
Get it out of my head. That's why it's like, the fast food and all that stuff will never go away. It's like, it's freaking delicious. A lot of it, I'm like, I love cheesecake. I'm never not going to eat cheesecake again.
I like cheesecake.
So it's one of those things of like, again, the balance of like, does this feel good right now? Like, yeah, like I want to eat this. I'm not going to feel like a piece of trash for eating it. Like I don't need to excuse myself or make, or what, justify it. Like, it's my life. I'm going to freaking do it. And that's healthy for you. You know what I mean? Of like, you don't want to deprive yourself of those things because once you deprive it, that's no longer a healthy life.
Do you guys also feel the same way? Every time I tell myself not to do something, like don't eat ice cream today, like I'll fixate on just doing it until I actually do it.
Yeah. So that's why it's like better to just like go ahead and eat some of it until you get to the point where you're like, and you eat like a whole pint of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that just like in life, I tell myself not. I feel like I struggle with that. I feel like the older you get, I feel like this should be getting easier, but like that shit doesn't change.
No, it's a constant, struggle or battle, but it's also a way of talking to yourself. Yeah. Like, so with these programs, I get health coaches, which helps me work through different problems and things like that. And, I told my coach, I wrote down no alcohol. Well, that's a negative way to talk to yourself. So it should say more water.
Yeah.
So I don't think about that. I'm just like, no alcohol, no alcohol, no alcohol.
Yeah.
No, just more water.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It helps. Little tips and tricks all the time. And
It's all
tweaking what
mind
you're
games.
doing. Yeah.
And I mean, even like you think of, I'm sure when we've all been there at one point or another of like, oh, I can't do this. I'm just not that person. You know what I mean? Where you like kind of write that so I'm like, well, of course you're not because you already told yourself you're not going to do it.
Right. It all
I
starts with
can't
your
lose
language.
20 pounds. Oh, I can't run a marathon. I'm like, well, yeah, because you've already
Said
said
it.
it in your head of like, no, you have to speak to yourself in a way of like,
Speak
I
it
haven't
into
done
the
it yet.
world. Yeah.
But that's also a practice, and it's also catching yourself. Like just like we're talking about like me being afraid in classes and stuff like that. Like I have to catch myself and then try to reprogram it in
To overcome it.
Yeah, and that's why I think all of this is so freaking hard. And it's not just like calories in, calories out. Just move your body, eat less, move more, and you be skinny and perfect. Okay,
Right.
Like,
Hollister, here I come. The store still exists. I've never ever been able to fit into Hollister. I've never owned a piece of clothing.
I've
from
never
Hollister.
tried.
I mean, I just that's the only store, and I don't think I've ever been a huge person, but I've never been able to fit into it. BT Deb. Obviously, I'm scarred from it. So this is from when I was in high school. I'm now 35. It's 20 years ago.
See, I was in high school. Like the store was 579. I don't know if you guys
we
remember
had
that
those
time.
too.
Yeah.
I don't know
Trash
what that
ball.
is.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I could not fit into that in high school. No, I was in women's plus sizes in high school. Like so, there was never a time I ever fit into a clothes that was proper for my age group. So like I was buying like I remember like maybe 8th grade I was already like in a size 14.
Wow.
So it was so that was a store I went to my friends with, and then I just stare at the wall while they're buying
Right.
579 jeans that are in sizes 5.
Well, when I was in the 8th grade,
That's so stupid.
right?
I've never heard of it, but wow.
That's
Yeah.
back in the day. Like,
Jeez.
that was pre-Daria days even. But like, because I feel like Daria would have shopped there, but it was like before she was around. But like at the same time, I was running before school, drinking a lot of coffee and skipping meals in the 8th grade. You know?
See, like everybody's got their thing.
And taking caffeine pills so I wouldn't eat and like Sudafed.
Now,
and
see, how
stuff.
did you work yourself out of that? Because that's pretty intense at a pretty young age.
Totally.
Yeah. I have just been self-aware and have been dealing with like trauma and stuff like this, like just forever, like my whole life. Like I started running before school because I thought I was fat and I was in the 4th grade. This has just been a part of me forever. And I think when I was in the 8th grade, I started, not 8th grade, when I was 18, I sought out my own therapist. And
Big moves right there.
Man, no kidding.
Wow.
yeah, because I could
woke,
pay,
man.
yeah, I hated life. I hated
I
life.
had to be 28 for that, but
No, dude.
good for you.
Wait, y'all want to know a funny story? But
Love
I
it.
just like hated life, and it was just hard for me. And I just knew I felt like I'm missing something in life, and I knew it like from a young age. I'm just like this cannot be it. Like I'm fucking miserable all the time. Like this cannot. I hated life, and so I went to my first therapy appointment. My friend is a psychologist or whatever, and so when she just heard our freshman year of college, she's like, "Oh, in my psychology program, they're doing free trial of therapy for students through exam week. It's like so that the kids can learn how to do this, right?" So I go to. I'm super excited. I'm so excited to go to my first therapy appointment ever, and I'm 18, and I like come in that day and I do an hour-long session. By the end of it, I'm hysterically crying, and the woman just looks at me. It's just like, "I'm sorry, honey, we can't help you. You need way more help than what we can provide." And then I just remember, I remember so vividly, standing in the hallway crying as the woman closed the door in my face, "Sorry, we can't help you." And I was just
That's rough.
and I was just like,
That's traumatic, right?
call my friend. I was like, "I'm too messed up. They can't even help me." Oh my god, it's worse than I thought. But yeah, I mean, and then and I made so many mistakes and learned along the way. But I've just pretty much always had a therapist, and I've gone through so many different holistic, been on so many different kind of medications. I've talked about this all so much throughout my life already that I just know, been prescribed so many different things. I just know certain triggers and certain stuff that I just can't even go down that road. Been there, done that. And I also feel like all the roads you learn by experience. So I can tell you
Slipper
which
sucks
Sudafed
sometimes.
to take and which one not. What kind of sleep you want, where you're going to be going,
Oh
at
my
what
goodness.
altitude,
Yeah,
like all of that stuff. And it is just something that I did forever. It was just a part of my life, my normal
So
life.
what has your army of therapists like said about that? Like what's the way that you can
They're
undo
all
that?
different. I would say the last one that really changed my world, his name is Christopher Beaver in Colorado. I went to him because I had been prescribed so much stuff, and I just hate being on meds, and I just hate it. I'm not myself, and although I was like a perfect form of Natalie, but I was like a hollow soul who just like chain smoked cigarettes and like ate Pop-Tarts. I don't know, but like I just didn't like it and like ran anyway. But I finally went to this guy in Colorado. So when I lived in Telluride, I went to like 4 or 5 different therapists. And it's super crunchy out there, right? So I go to this guy who has no certifications, but he has thousands of hours, et cetera. And just by looking, and I knew him from around town because it was a small town, you know? But I sit down on his couch and he was like, you have to go. He's like, you need to go to rehab before I treat you. He doesn't, and he's super holistic. And I was like, rehab? Like, what? And he was like, you need to go to rehab. And I was like, I can't even afford rehab. Like, what? I'm a bartender. Like, what?
Bartender. I'm not
What? And I was like, I don't need to go to rehab. Like, and he was like, girl, you just need to.
Intervention.
Yeah, dude. So I actually did it. And so like that night I booked a trip to Cambodia and went on that trip. And like, to me, that was my form of rehab, super holistic. And
I love that that's where you immediately thought was like, I'm going to Cambodia.
Oh, no. That's just because I was poor. So I literally Googled.
How much was it in Cambodia? I would have thought it'd be more expensive.
But listen to this. So I literally Googled cheapest rehab
ever.
Enter. And it was like Cambodia, and it was holistic. Like in America, if you have any sort of problem, like it is so hard to get proper
You
treatment.
went to Cambodia by yourself?
Yeah. So I just like booked the trip that night, and it was like $3,000 for 3 weeks. Including
airfare and everything?
Including airfare to and from, and all these weeks of all this stuff. And it really helped and really changed my world. And through the end of it, it was listening to yourself, and meditation and yoga completely changed my world. And just listening to like, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to stop doing that. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to stop doing that. Obviously, like I just said, how do you not binge eat? That's still one that I battle with amongst other things, but life is easier. And I've just found like what makes me happy is performing. Like our job is like essential to my psyche. Like I love to perform. I think that's why my current situation, I'm not given that opportunity, and I'm freaking out. Like before I was on radio, I did, stand up, and was just always some sort of performance. That's how I deal. And so like I truly believe when people have these issues, when people have so many issues, I'm like, you got to find what you really feel alive in. And that will change your world. And then like, even though I bartended for so long, I loved that I had freedom to do what I really loved that like kept me going. And once I made those decisions, and that all happened in Telluride, and once I made those decisions and that was my life, those were just like, to me, I figured like, oh, I figured it out. Y'all in the real world don't get it. Like you're working these jobs that are miserable. No, it is essential to find this happiness. And like, that is just something that I've just won't compromise that.
That would be one of your values through her therapist.
Yeah, there you go.
For sure.
But that's definitely it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think
I
think it's important to also note from what you said there that you still are battling with binge eating is that I think people have the misconception with any of this process that like things will just go away and I'll be better. You know what I mean?
No,
I'm just not going to crave this food anymore. I'm not going to deal with these kinds of demons. And I think that the realization that it doesn't ever go away, it just gets a lot better and it gets manageable. And I think that so many times when I've yo-yo dieted and stuff, when just issues with food, one, I didn't even recognize my relationship with food. I just didn't even think about it. Like I don't know, my whole like backstory with this whole thing has been crazy too. So it's like, I didn't even see it. It's almost like there was just a wall in front of me. I had no self-awareness. And so, but it's like, I always thought like, okay, I'm going to do this diet. I'm going to lose the weight. Once I lose the weight, then everything's going to be great. I'm going to figure it out. I'm never going to have to deal with this again. I'm not going to like have this relationship with
and then
food
the weight
again.
comes back.
Yeah. And it all comes back.
And then you're like, wait a minute.
And I think it's one of those things of just kind of like that moment of clarity after, again, you have to live through some of these things first of just, losing 60 pounds, gaining it back, losing 40 pounds, gaining it back, going back and forth, trying these different things. The realization is just like, these issues, there's deep-seated issues here that are not like, that's what has to be addressed.
It's
like
the
Correct.
habits. Yeah.
Yes.
So, like I was really
Yes.
like bulimic in high school. But then I would go on these diets that were like only eat vegetables. But I was doing the same behavior,
Yeah.
but just with vegetables. And I was still feeling the same way and like doing the same stuff. And I was like, this doesn't matter if it's freaking you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
behind it is the behavior, and the behavior is what at least in my experience, the behavior is what makes you feel that affects you mentally, and like it affects your emotions,
Yeah.
It's the behavior. So if you it's not like you eat cake, if you eat like an entire cake, if you just have a piece, will you be okay? You know what I mean? So it's just,
And just even in the
Listen.
past couple of years, I went through this of like, I traded the food binging with exercise binging.
Yes, you trade.
same. I mean, same.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like COVID has been amazing, because I like don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
As I said, I was going to go to 3 classes.
Yeah, you were
today.
just saying, like, you
fuck.
used to, like-
Maybe I still do, but I didn't go. But I didn't go to 2 of them today, and only went to 1. You know, or didn't go to 3.
It's
I
always a
went to
learning.
1.
It's a learning progress,
Right?
Yeah,
learning
totally.
progress. Learning
Like-
process.
Well, that's where it's just kind of like, talking to people of like, oh, I quote unquote messed up. Like I
hate
went
that
ham,
term.
and it's like, no, you've learned something
Yeah.
from it. First off, it's in the past. It's behind us. We're moving forward. We're not looking that way. We're looking this way. Use it as like, how do I feel about it? If
Fuel.
you're feeling shame about it and whatever you did, and it's like, okay, well, mental note. This is
Yeah.
how I feel when I behave that way.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, let's bring some of that to the table before I just blindly go into it. So it's like, but it's so hard to like get yourself into that, that mode of like, this is how I'm perceiving. Again, like I'm in this mindset when it's just easier to just
Keep
do what you're
doing
going to
it.
do and
Yeah.
not think about it.
Well, that's even like just perspective. Like, so now, like with COVID, we've all changed our lives dramatically because you had the
100%.
perspective. Like, I can imagine going back and being that Natalie before this now of like just waking up and going to do these things no matter what I felt like or did, or,
Yeah.
and anyway, yeah.
So with that being said, what are your guys' goals looking for ahead to the future? I mean, we're at the end of 2020 now. Let's just take the next few months into 2021. Like, what would you guys like to accomplish? What are we looking forward to?
I want to help other people. So I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if I want to get certified in something or personal training. But I definitely know that I feel good when I help people. And I've lived the yo-yo diet,
Yeah.
lose weight, gain weight, eat like crap, work out like crazy. So I think some certification would be the route that I'm taking.
Right on. And that's
Yeah.
the same for you too, right, Natalie?
Yeah, I currently like really want to become a fitness instructor, and I want to get multiple things, something I've always wanted to do, and create more online content. Be better at my job.
Hey, it'll go hand in hand.
Yes, I hope so. I honestly do think about it all day. That I'm like, anyway.
And I want to learn how to meditate.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But like, isn't that wild though? You think about like, I mean, we're 3 chicks that met from working in radio.
3 hot
Yeah.
chicks.
Damn right. And smoking.
It's all about how you talk to yourself. I'm hot.
Right. And then like how, like you, all 3 of us are, get certified to help other people. Like,
Yeah.
pass it on. I just think that's so super cool. If like, again, you live through this thing, you have your own journey. And I think that the thing that you learn out of it, at least for the 3 of us in this conversation, is just kind of like, how do I help other people like wake up to this and feel this? And I know how it's changed me, and I want to help other people through the process because I know it. And I just think that's like, I don't know. It's just like, it's crazy how going through something like that
On the other side of it.
on the other side.
You're a tool that other people can use. Like
Yeah.
you've been a big inspiration.
oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Huge. Yeah,
Aw,
huge.
thank you.
Both of you guys. Honestly, I'm like getting
Yeah.
the chills. You guys are like my routed. When I think about people that I've really, my friends that I've made in Cincinnati, who girls that I like really love, I can just throw down and just be myself. Like, these chicks get it, And I know you guys are like so loyal and always have my back. Are you too? I know. I'm not even just saying that because we're on this
It's getting
podcast.
mushy now.
I know.
Oh,
But I'm
feelings.
Like, but I'm like, no, y'all. I'm just like, I'm so.
Speaking
so
of feelings, though, I have to go get my eyebrows waxed. So
Speaking of feelings, I
They
have
look
2 dates.
scary over here.
my
Natalie
God.
has 2 dates. Okay, let's make that like the next conversation.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
hold
please?
on. Yes, the dating thing.
The dating
girl.
Yeah, girl, because these eyebrows aren't going to get me any dates.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Love you.
Love you.
For info on health coaching and more, go to AmandaValentineBites.com.